Okay, hi everybody, welcome to this week's Soul Purpose live session. And I want to talk to everybody in this group. So if you're watching or seeing this video live or replay, that's because you're in the Soul Purpose group. And you might have noticed, if you haven't noticed, I would love for you to check it out. I just changed the cover of this group, which I am really enjoying the new version of it. Sometimes, you want to change things around to shift the gear a little bit. But if you have been tuning into, my post or the lives that I have done the last couple of times, I have been emphasizing this concept of Satori mind, and something that I feel really connected with, especially because Satori is a Japanese language, which is where I'm from, and something that indicates for me this sort of like a Zen feeling, which it's interesting because many people have expressed that I have that energy, and I have no idea because I have always been this way, right? Meaning that there is a certain level of awareness that I cultivated that I don't have any problem or challenge in being present in the moment, right? Now, we are all humans, so there are things and situations that arises, but most of the time, I'm very much able to be in the moment. And what I mean by that is that I don't live, like for instance, right now, I came here at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and that is a chronological time that we are all agreeing, right? But the real experiential time that is what I usually call the continuous unfoldment of the eternal now that reveals and unfolds one moment to another is, I feel like, the life that I'm truly living. So I often say that, people have this lifetime of living how many years they are living, right? Let's say if you're living until 100, you have this 100 years based on the chronological time that we agree upon, right? But the depth of the present moment, I understand that is deeper than the length of the chronological length of time that you get to live, if that makes sense. So present moment is not like a dot, but it's a humongous depth that you can tap into and access, and that can change the quality of your life and everything that we're seeking, right? So coming back to the Facebook cover, right? So cultivate the Satori mind to realize the divine self in you. Cultivate the Satori mind to realize the divine self in you. The divine is God. Divine is infinite power. Divine is your essence. Divine is your spirit soul, that is you. And that segment of our being has certain quality. And that is pre-conceptual, pre-verbal, pre-differentiated, means that it's one. And it's interesting because a lot of people who are waking up into this idea of spirituality talks about oneness and unity, but that is who we already are and always have been. So when we arrive to this earth plane, we have this sort of separation, right? The sense of separateness, because the body, my body, and my mother's body, my father's body, everybody else's body are separate, yeah? And then that takes us to have a conceptual illusion in our thinking, in the mind, of misunderstanding who we are. We are not the mind, we're not the body, right? So, it's the embodiment of that idea that makes a difference. And what I mean by that is that if you're kind of newer to this group, right? Embodiment is the becoming of the information. So let's say if you say, you are not the mind, you're not the body, right? And if you have this sort of like a palpable feeling that you have been on a spiritual path, you kind of believe, or not even believe, but you have this deep knowing inside of you that you are a spiritual being that is beyond the visible realm, which a lot of people, by the way, are waking up to, which is very fun and enjoyable to watch, is that when you have that realization, you kind of have this idea that, oh, yeah, I have my body and I have my mind. The body is the vehicle that I'm living in, and the mind is a tool to create the life, to paint the life that I want in the outside world. Now, what do I mean by that? Mind is an interesting thing, right? So in this sense, I'm indicating or talking about referring to the mind as your thinking and your feeling and your beliefs, yeah, all the psycho-emotional aspect. And that is a tool, yeah, and that is not who you are. So that idea that you're not that is one thing to understand. But are you living, embodying that idea means that moment to moment in life, are you recognizing that the thoughts that you're thinking, the emotion that is arising, or even belief that you're coming from is not you, and therefore you can change and shift. So the embodiment of this idea that you're not the mind, you're not the body is that, right? One of the examples. And then that liberates us from being trapped in this prison of our own conceptual thinking. So cultivating that Satori mind, I'm coming back to that Facebook cover, right? That is, I wanted to emphasize this Satori mind because this is something that I have sort of cultivated over the years. How many years long I have been on my spiritual path, maybe like 20 something, right? And then integrating with holistic health, which is my degree, and also studies in personal self-development, and then connecting all the dots to make sense what this life is, and then truly using that knowledge and awareness to understand who we are so we can live a life that we want to create that reflects the heart's desire, right? So I would love for this soul purpose group, people are finding out this group. And right now I have, interesting story. I have a Facebook ads that I run to promote this Facebook group, the soul purpose group. Yeah. For the first time, this has never happened to me. Probably it happens through me, right? As we know. The first time that I ran this Facebook ads was probably 2020. Summer 2020. So on and off, right, for different reasons. But I have been running or utilizing or have been experienced running Facebook ads for the last, let's say, almost 3 years. And this has never happened to me. But for the first time, my Facebook ads got hacked. My Facebook ads got hacked one morning when I woke up because I saw a charge from somebody, something. And then I got an email that somebody kind of join my ads. That is, that email was very unfamiliar. So I have been in the process of fixing that contrast that I have been actually enjoying fixing. And so I'm posing, right? But people are finding out through my active promotion, people inviting this group, people who are in this group inviting other people, and then people finding out about this group and people are joining. But here's the thing. I would love for this group to be a place to begin the journey of cultivating that Satori mind. Yeah. Satori mind is a realized, awakened mind. And what is that, right? What is that awakened mind, realized mind? You can kind of imagine those people who you think who accomplished that, right? A lot of people talk about Buddha, some people talk about Jesus, other people, Mother Teresa, how about Gandhi, right? Be the change he wants to see in the world, yeah? So whoever that is that you admire or look up to or can visualize, imagine right away when you think of realized, awakened mind, yeah, and you are not different from them. You and I are no different from them. It's very interesting though. A lot of the spiritual teachers and personal development pioneers, right? The message is the same, that you are the creator of your own life and you are very unique. You have your unique gift to express. Yeah. And often that message, even though that is the fundamental underlying message, that they want all of us to believe in ourselves, the potential to shine, to blossom, to demonstrate that divine expression fully, right? Think that the way that we can show up in life that fulfills our heart's desire, right? Because we have this sort of calling, right? A sense of mission. Like if you're here, you have some mission to fulfill. And maybe if you don't feel that way, perhaps some of the ideas have been entered into the mind, telling you that there's no such a thing, or it's another belief system, right? But I have come to realize that each and every one of us have this sort of sense of mission, that I am here to do this, yeah? And then I do this through my unique gift. And then this unique gift is something that I want to nurture and cultivate. And how can I touch other people to be able to, living their fullest, utilizing that gift that I have. So that Satori mind, the realized mind, awakened mind, whatever that version that is for you, right? What would you be thinking if you are realized and awakened? How would you be maneuvering through life? Yeah? What is the beliefs and perspective that you would come from when something happens in your life, right? What would Buddha respond to this situation? What would Mother Teresa respond to this situation? What would you respond to this situation, right? So the cultivation of the Satori mind, to me, is a prerequisite to realize the divine self. So realization of the divine self is to cultivate that conception of you in your mind and to become that by living in that place and to show up in this physical life from that place and do what you truly want to do, expressing yourself fully, without guilt, without resentment, without shame, without regret, and to feel forever expansive, because the soul, the nature of the soul is to have this forever expansion and fuller expression. Yeah. So cultivating the Satori mind to realize the divine self in you. This soul purpose group, I would love everybody to have the begin this journey of cultivating that mind so you can awaken the divine self in you. Yeah. So this is what this group is about. So if you have been in this group and if you didn't know that that was this group's sort of intention and direction, there you have it. And if you are newer to this group, that is that intention and direction. So there you have it. If you are tuning in live, I would love for you to say hi. And if you are watching replay, I want you to hashtag replay and maybe share what is the country that you're tuning in from. If you're in the United States, what is the city or states that you're tuning in from, because we have people from all over the world, almost 2,000 people in this group. And we're not gonna stop there. It's gonna be so amazing for many, many more people to join this group. So all of us can cultivate that Satori mind to wake up, realize that divine self. So if you know anybody who you think that they would benefit from, feel free to invite them. And let's talk about the topic of today, the outwitting the devil, not divine. So outwitting the devil is definitely the divine's mission. But so there is a book called Outwitting the Devil written by Napoleon Hill. Yeah. Let me know if you know that book. Let me know if you haven't read that book. If you are interested in that, there are in the YouTube, they have the audio book. Yeah. And usually when I listen to all those books, I kind of speed up a little bit, 1.5 or 2 times. And it talks faster. And that kind of makes me concentrate a little bit to listen to. But I came across that book a couple of years ago, and I have been shocked that what was in the book was actually the exact same message as when I created my Satori Mindset program. Yeah, Satori Mindset program is the signature program that I run, right? And it is about integrating the fourth dimension or fifth dimension, but it is about waking up that divine self in you. And I talk about two fundamental problems, challenges that humans inevitably face on this earth, which I think is a part of the divine plan, because, only when we sort of get sucked into that contrast, we can wake up into who we are, right? So, but the content of the book and the message that Napoleon Hill was talking about in the book was very similar to my approach of Satori mindset, and I felt actually honor, yeah, because I didn't read his book and created the program, but it tells me that I was able to cultivate the mind that he also understood looking at the world, right? And then just to give you a little backstory, everybody, Napoleon Hill is an author of the book called Think and Grow Rich that is very well known in the personal development industry. And it is about, it's a book that is really widespread that made a lot of, successful people, right? And then, to be honest, like Think and Grow Rich, a lot of people talk about rich doesn't only mean financial, right? Richness of light, richness of love, richness of health, all that. Although a lot of people who read that book are most of the time, like for instance, if you're seeking self-love, you wouldn't go to that Think and Grow Rich. If you're seeking richness of health, you don't go to that Think and Grow Rich. Many people who read that book are seeking financial freedom. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting, right? That in that book, he never talks about money, but he describes the mind and the principles, life principles that governs the universe without saying universal law. And it talks about different concepts like faith, like I think Emily was talking about faith a couple of weeks ago with Julia, and also the idea of decision. He talks about subconscious mind. It's a little old school, writing form, and something that not many people know. Everybody, this might be one of the top secret that you get to know is Think and Grow Rich. There is one word that was eliminated from the original version. So the original version of Think and Grow Rich has this word, the term vibration everywhere in the book. But all the edited version, vibration was eliminated because the editor didn't think that the world was ready to accept that energetics idea. And just to connect the dots, right? Outwitting the Devil was written, I think, not too long after Napoleon Hill published Think and Grow Rich, but it wasn't published until, I don't know, maybe like 10 or 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, but basically after 21st century, the book was published like 50, 60 years ago. Why? Because Napoleon Hill's family felt like if the book is published, it's going to offend the churches, it's going to offend different groups in the world, and it kept secret. But so here's the thing though, what is Outwitting the Devil, right? Why is it that they kept it secret and not be published? Because because I think the book talks about, not to come from that offensive place, but addresses different dogma around religions or some misunderstanding in how people interpreted God. And I don't know, the rest is history, right? But I think that the family didn't feel comfortable publishing it, right? But what the book talks about, which is an excellent point that I want to address today, is, I mean, this is not language that the book uses. This is language that I use, that I think that Napoleon Hill means, right? Is this default state of habitual familiar self. Yeah. Like he talks about like hypnotic rhythm, and there is a universal energy opposite from God. That is the devil, right? So, when you begin tapping into the spiritual realm, and when you tapping into the energy of love, because the spiritual realm and the energy of love are the same thing. When you tap into shifting the perspective and being able to look at the entire life from the perspective of God that's inside of us, life is a paradise, right? Life is a paradise. But the book talks about there's an opposition of God that is governed cosmically, and that invades each one of us thinking, each one of us feeling, emotions, and beliefs. All the limiting things that we are experiencing is based on that opposition's energy, which is the devil. Yeah. So this is a little like overview, conceptual idea of what Outwitting the Devil is, right? But let me just kind of bring it all the way down to our real reality, practical life. Yeah. So how many of you who are watching this or listening to this feels like there's more to life? Yeah. And then how many of you wants to believe in the abundance, wants to believe in yourself, wants to believe in all the things that we're talking about, the spirituality, the freedom, the fifth dimension, being one with creator, and be the cause of the attraction to create a life that reflects your heart desire. But you find yourself going around in a circular way, living a similar kind of life. That is because of the devil. That is because there is an energetic stuff that we hold on to that tends to keep us stay the same in a default state. You know that you don't want to do this because these things that you might be doing is preventing you from becoming somebody else. You know that if you stop thinking this way, stop reacting this way, stop believing this way, that absence of that will free you up. But nevertheless, you keep going back to that energy. Does any of you resonate with this? If it resonates with you, I would love for you to comment devil. This is fun, right? A different kind of thing. If you feel like, there's more to life, you wanna play big, you wanna believe in yourself, you wanna create a life of expansion, but things get in the way, right? Like you feel like life becomes busy, or this situation or this person is still close to me, or because I have this commitment or responsibility, I want that, but this is in the way kind of thing. And how long has that been around you? Does that make sense? That you want something else, but and you kind of get excited about transforming, you get excited about expanding into the next level. Yes. So you want to be one with the spirit, and you want to live from the end in mind, and you want to take inspired action to create the life that you truly want. And that energy sort of dissipates. And the next you realize and notice, you're sort of juggling the same kind of life. How many people who are watching resonate with that? If this is you, I would love for you to comment, type devil. Yeah, devil. Because it's the devil in us that might be controlling to keep us in the same place. The absence of devil is God, and if the devil is present, God is absent. Both cannot exist at the same time. Just like gratitude and fear cannot coexist at the same time. Yeah. So, over and over, people get excited about change and transformation. But there's this invisible force in the universe that keeps people trapped and go back to the mechanical, transactional way of living. And when they notice, they're back to doing the same thing. So I call that, default, habitual, familiar self, right? And I think it has to do with your attention, right? The power of attention is the beginning of everything, because when you are able to shift your inner attention to the things that you desire, instead of getting caught into this place that, oh, I don't want this kind of energy, right? So that inner attention needs to be at creation. Otherwise, you will be surviving, repeating the seamless sequence that feels very familiar, because we have become so good at doing what we have been doing. Yeah. So the familiar self is the biggest addiction that we have, and that is due to the devil. That is due to the devil. Let me know if you have any questions. And if you have any comments around that, I would love for everybody to let me know and type anything that you feel like you want to type, right? I'm going to go to my Facebook group to check. Perfect. Oh, there's a lot of comment actually. Oh, there's a lot of... Okay, I see a lot of people are commenting devil. But here's the thing though. What we want to also talk about is that, would you like to know how to get out of the devil? Would you like to know how to get out of the devil? There are a couple of keys that we need to implement in a committed, devoted way in order for us to get out of the devil. Yeah, which is an outwitting the devil. So if you would like to finally graduate out of that familiar version, right? And no matter what situation might be, if you really have the desire of transcending into creating the life that you want, I would love for you to type goodbye devil, right? Goodbye devil is the first step to invite God in us, to invite kingdom in us. Yeah, the kingdom of heaven is within us. If we do not create deliberately and intentionally the kingdom of heaven inside of us, the devil is gonna take over. I mean, I can't believe that I'm having this kind of live session. I never talked about devil on my Facebook Live, but this is good because it's just another way to explain what we're dealing with, right? So if you feel like, that repetition of sort of manifesting the same kind of life has been a pattern for you, you want to write devil. And if you really want to transcend out of that, right? So fear and habit coexist, and that is controlling our life as a devil. Now, in order to transcend out of that, we need to cultivate two things: the power of choice, which is the free will, and faith, which is the energy of trusting the uncertainty, trusting the unseen, right? So if you want to really devote and commit into this journey and path of cultivating that, cultivating the choice over habit, cultivating the faith over fear, I want you to type goodbye devil. So we're going to say goodbye to our devil so we can invite and welcome God within. Now, if you're new to this group, and something that I want to share a little bit, because it's not like, well, I don't want to be misunderstood. Yeah. I don't come from any religious background. Yeah. But the God is light, right? The invisible, infinite power that created this world, the planet, is living currently in every single cell inside of us. And if you can embody that through our acceptance and the realization that God is born inside of you, and then when you start working on that deliberately in a committed manner, there's not going to be space for the devil to stay. Yeah. Now, let me just kind of explain this way. If you only do this when you feel like it, or in your current mode of living, or your current pattern, the devil is gonna override. Yeah. In order for us to really release that devil, there needs to be God all the time. Yeah. And we want to have some step-by-step path that you can devote and commit in order to replace devil with God. Yeah. Both will not exist. So there needs to be a decision that you are going to say goodbye to God, not to God, to devil, not to God, devil. So you can begin integrating God in you. And believe me, when you do that, everything is going to change. And that is to cultivate the Satori mind, to be able to realize the divine self in you. So let me know if you have any questions. And I am seeing a lot of goodbye devil. We will chat. We will chat and see how we can say goodbye to devil. Yeah. Okay, that is it, everybody. So habit and fear are the two enemies, and devil is an invisible opposing energy of God that permeates through what we call life. And we want to be able to let that go in order to invite God in us. So as usual, if you have anybody who you think that would benefit from this particular Outwitting the Devil session, feel free to invite anybody to this group, because we want more people who can align with the soul's purpose, and you are giving them an opportunity to enter into this path, and that is, I think, is a God's action in you. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll come back next week. Next week, I don't usually announce the topic of next week, but next week, Tuesday, is Valentine's Day. I'm going to talk about a topic: love never hurts. Yeah, love never hurts. That is the topic of next week. So see you next time.